In this video, we are going to take a look at examples of proportions. We're going to find ways on how we can figure out whether two ratios are proportional or not. So going back to our previous discussion, proportions are two ratios that are equal to each other. So basically, they are two equivalent ratios. So example number 1. 3 cats for every 5 dogs equals 15 cats for every 25 dogs. Looking at proof 1, 3 cats, 5 dogs, for every 15 cats, there are 25 dogs. So 3 and 15, as well as 5 and 25, there's a relationship between them. So if I find the quotient, if I divide 15 by 3, I get 5. If I divide 25 by 5, I also get 5. There's this special number, there is this number that I multiply to the numerator and I multiply it to the denominator and will give me 15 and 25. So it's happened that in this case we have 5, so 3 times 5 is 15, 5 times 5 is 25. So I multiplied by the same number, and 5 in this case is what we call the scale factor. And since I have a scale factor here, it means that these two ratios are proportional to each other, so they form a proportion. Let's take a look at the second proof. So it's the same thing. For every 3 cats, there are 5 dogs. It follows that for every 15 cats, there are 25 dogs. So another way to prove this is to apply your cross multiplication. So if I multiply this, find the product diagonally, I get 75, so 15 times 5 will give me 75. Multiply this diagonally as well. 3 times 25 is also 75. Since I came up with the same product, with equal products, it follows that 3/5, 3 over 5 is equal to 15 over 25 is a proportion. So these two ratios are equal to each other, therefore it is a proportion. They are proportional to each other. Now let's take a look at another example. So we have in here example number 2. It's all about maple trees. So for every 100 maple trees, we can come up with 25 gallons of maple syrup. Therefore, for every 150 maple trees, I can come up with 37.5 gallons of maple syrup. So let's prove that these two ratios are proportional. So using again the first proof, coming up with the scale factor, that common number that we can multiply to the numerator and to the denominator, and we get the second set of our ratio. So I have in here 1.5. How did I come up with 1.5? So what I did was I divided 150 by 100 and I got 1.5. So if I multiply 100 by the scale factor, which is a 1.5, I get 150. The same thing, 37.5 divided by 25 gives me 1.5. When I multiply 25 by 1.5, the product is 37.5. So in this case, my scale factor is 1.5 for both the numerator and the denominator. Therefore, I'm confident to say that these two ratios are proportional. Let's take a look at the second way of identifying whether two ratios are proportional or not. So the second way, again, remember earlier, we just need to multiply them diagonally. So if I multiply this diagonally, come up with the product. So you can start with this, or you can go from left to right. If that's what you want, that's fine, as long as you're multiplying them diagonally. So if I multiply 100 by 37.5, remember when you're multiplying by zeros, just move the decimal point to the right depending on the number of zeros you have here. So my product here is 37, 2 zeros. So just move the decimal point to units to the right, 2 units. So the product is 3,750. I need to find the product of these two numbers as well. So 25 times 150, and it gives me also 3,750. Now, since I came up with the same product, the products are equal, it follows that these two ratios are proportional. They are equivalent to each other. So I hope you were able to figure out which method is better to use. Either way works, so it's your choice.